It's supposed to represent the community and represent the children. And that feels really icky.
Now at 7, Portlanders calling for Cesar Chavez Elementary and Cesar Chavez Boulevard to be renamed after new allegations that he spent decades sexually assaulting and abusing women and girls. What we know coming up in our top story.
Plus, Oregon's biggest school district now looking at a shorter school year as the district tries to close a $1 million budget deficit. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz will break down the latest coming up.
And March Madness is back in the Rose City. And if you think that you can pick a perfect bracket, the odds say good luck with that. But you're more likely to win the lottery than pick a perfect bracket. Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Happy Thursday, everyone. Rod Hill, Chris McGinnis standing by with a look at the weather and traffic. Rod, we've got the first day of spring tomorrow, and it's been very spring-like this week.
Already, yeah. All right, I'm going to slip on my I'm showing off hat, and I'm showing off this view. Very pretty. The Vancouver, the Springs at the waterfront. You can see clouds up top, Mount Hood to the left, some pretty colors on the camera. I was so busy showing off that I forgot to grab my weather clicker, and I had to walk over there to get it. Okay, here's the temperature outside, 53 degrees. There are light showers now for you folks up around Astoria, Tillamook, Kelso, Longview. Good morning to you. You'll find a touch of some light rain at times today. Portland may or may not see some sprinkles. It will still be comfortable. We're 50 out the door, 60 at noon, and we get up into the mid-60s this afternoon. Next time I show off, I will have my clicker in hand, Chris.
It is kind of funny how that works out, right? Humbling. Let's go ahead and get you out the door. Quick check of the drive coming down the hill from the zoo into the Vista Ridge Tunnel. We've got the normal brake tapping there on the inbound Sunset. Door number 2 takes us over to the east side, westbound I-84. You can't quite make out those ODOT speed signs, but they usually come on when the drive starts slowing, as it is on that side of town. And last but not least, door number 3 will take us to the Interstate Bridge. Quick check your drive times right now. Nothing way out of whack just yet. 17 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough, and the drive across the Columbia right now, 12 minutes on I-5. That's from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. China?
Thank you, Chris. For generations, the name Cesar Chavez stood for Latino civil rights. But years after his death, that legacy is now tainted by new accusations that Chavez spent decades sexually assaulting and abusing women and girls. The New York Times first reported on 2 women who say that they were 12 and 13 when Chavez groomed and assaulted them. Now, longtime labor leader Dolores Huerta, who worked alongside Chavez, says he forced her to have sex with him against her will. Chavez, who died more than 3 decades ago, was well known for helping highlight the struggles of field workers in the 1960s. Huerta, who is now 96 years old, says that she stayed silent for years because she didn't want to hurt the farm worker movement. Now, across the country, including here in Portland, there is growing concern over public spaces like schools, streets, and parks named in honor of Chavez.
Yeah, many community members want name changes as soon as possible, some noting that just seeing the name is upsetting. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live from Cesar Chavez Elementary. Corey, the city and school districts say these name change processes take some time.
Yeah, good morning, Matthew. China, here in Portland, the reaction already taking shape with some calling for immediate change and others pushing for the community to rethink what these names represent in the first place. And from a North Portland school to a busy major city boulevard, the conversation is moving quickly. And some community members say the name no longer reflects and represents the values of the school. Others are pushing to rename Cesar Chavez Boulevard after labor leader Dolores Huerta, who worked alongside Chavez. Now, a city spokesperson says Mayor Keith Wilson is open to conversations about a potential name change and that the process would be community driven. And one neighbor told KGW the school is meant to represent the community and its children and believes the district should act now to change the name.
You're kind of like, wow, how did this take so long? But then look at everything else that's taken so long, the Me Too movement and everything else. And when this stuff gets out, it's good that it gets out and it is corrected, like in a city like Portland.
Yeah, and per city code, one of the first steps would require a petition that would need about 2,500 signatures. And Portland Public Schools also says it's processing the recent news, noting that any renaming would it would also include community engagement and also a board vote. Matthew, China.
Corey, thank you. Contract negotiations between Regents and Legacy Health have stalled, and without an agreement, your coverage could be impacted come April. If no deal is reached, Legacy clinics and providers go out of network. The Legacy hospitals will stay covered through next March, and this negotiation does not include Legacy Silverton or members of Legacy Health Plan. In 2024, Regents and Legacy reached a similar impasse, negotiating for almost a year before signing a new deal.
Oregon's biggest school district could see a shortened school year.
Yeah, according to the Willamette Week, a class could end in Portland Public Schools on June 5th as the district tries to make up for a budget deficit. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from Portland Public Schools headquarters. So Thomas, what else do we know here?
Well, guys, Portland Public School teachers have been asked to take 4 furlough days from the district. If that is accepted, school would end the first week of June this year. According to Willamette Week, May 1st, May 25th, June 9th, and June 10th would be furlough days for teachers under this proposal. Negotiations are happening as Portland Public Schools' mid-year budget gap has grown to $14 million. The district is also facing another $50 million deficit for next school year. These budget issues have hung over the school district all year long, with some staff members telling us they've been worried for months about the possibility of layoffs and furlough days. We spoke to PPS administrators about the deficit earlier this month. They tell us they're trying to reach an agreement quickly.
Really trying to make sure that we come to an agreement as soon as possible so that we can give as much lead time to our families and community if there is going to be an interruption.
Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Armstrong says central office leaders will take 5 furlough days. Armstrong will take 6. Still, Portland's teachers union says their trust in the district's ability to navigate finances is broken and say the union will be doing a forensic analysis of the budget. Now, the best way to think about this idea and these furlough days is more of a Band-Aid. Long term, Armstrong says the district still has plans and anticipations of closing some schools to make up for budget deficits. Still, this whole furlough idea has to be approved by teachers. They have until tomorrow evening to cast their vote. Matthew, China.
Reporting live this morning, Thomas Schultz. Thomas, thank you. And Oregon leaders are checking in on the statewide school cell phone ban. Wednesday, Governor Tina Kotek heard from students at Estacada High School. Now, Estacada says it's seen a 4% increase in attendance rates, and at the high school level, it's seen student work completion jump from around 58% to 83%.
So we were grateful to see this edict come from, from Salem and from the governor ultimately, which really gave our teachers and our administration the confidence to have the ability to step forward and demand this expectation.
Where students are more engaged, teachers to get that joy back, and students are talking to each other like real people.
Well, so what did the students have to say? Everything from they get more work done and have formed new friendships to wishing they still had their phones during lunch. Kotek says it's clear the change is working and she has no plans to change the policy.
Your time now is 7:08. Taking a live look outside, courtesy of our Timberline Lodge Sky Cam. There's some, I can't see. I really can't see. Oh,
yeah,
is that snow on the ground?
Yeah, there's snow.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they had like 70-some inches. I haven't lost it all yet.
I might need context.
Right?
I can read words, kind of.
Matthew's correct. 70-some inches on the ground up there. It hit 50 at Timberline yesterday, with mid-50s at Government Camp at least. Again, don't overdress if you're going up to the high country. It's pretty warm up that direction as well. Generally, you've had to get up to above 9,000 feet to find a 32-degree temperature. Here's the radar, and this is kind of gathering steam, this push of what is mostly showing up as steady light rain, now hitting Astoria, Longview, Olympia, up into Seattle. It's another day that you will be driving into the rain zone if you're traveling on I-5 up to Seattle. There's some rain in northern Clark County. Portland is dry, but the last time this moisture area kind of migrated a bit to the southward, which it has again this morning, Portland picked up some sprinkles. So we'll look for that type of thing potentially later today. Seaside, cloudy skies, but yeah, still being reported as dry with the rain just to the north. camera showing a quiet start, 54 degrees, 50 in Hill. Forest Grove just dipping down to 49. Sandy's at 51. Oregon City 51. Here's this afternoon. Temperatures 70s central and eastern Oregon, and still 70s down in the south areas of the Willamette Valley. 66 today, maybe some sprinkles. Tomorrow, some passing rain, but not a lot. Your weekend still looks to be dry. And here is Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's get you out the door with a quick look at the roads. And so far, the drive is rolling along pretty quickly. You haven't had any major. Oh, sorry for that. We lost the camera. I have no control over the washout camera there on the interstate bridge, but I can assure you the traffic is moving along okay despite the camera dropout. Westbound I-84, busy but moving coming in through the Hollywood district towards the I-5 split and the inbound Sunset right now. About, well, what's the speed sensor say? 27 miles an hour, the drive down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. So with that being said, we're really not in too bad a shape out there just yet. Mostly a speed limit commute. Right now the Sunset's up to about 18 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Matthew, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Well, from sold out games to local jobs, coming up, how sporting events are bringing millions of visitors and dollars to Oregon. And getting struck by lightning, getting bitten by a shark, and winning the lottery. What do all of those things have in common? Well, it turns out you're more likely to experience all of them than to get a perfect March Madness bracket. We'll break down those odds when Sunrise continues in 2 minutes.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
It's 7:13, and it looks like the Portland Fire will kick off their inaugural season at the Moda Center on time in May, when the WNBA and Players Union now finally reached an agreement.
Yeah, the agreement comes after weeks of intense negotiations. The new deal is slated to quadruple players' salaries and paves the way for the league's first $1 million players. The WNBA commissioner tells ESPN that the deal comes just in time to avoid making schedule changes to the season.
The league is exploding in growth. They're playing in bigger venues. They have a better TV deal than they've ever had. They have better sponsors than they've ever had. So the revenues are there, and the players should share in those revenues.
And up next, the expansion draft, which is critical for the Fire since, they don't have any players yet. The preseason is scheduled to start on April 29th.
Yeah, kind of a key part of that. Meanwhile, a new statewide study is revealing the economic impact of sports in Oregon in 2024. It found that sporting events brought 1.3 million non-local visitors to the area, with those visitors spending more than $300 million at hotels, restaurants, and other stores. The study also found these events supported 8,700 jobs in the region.
But one thing is right in front of us that's producing right now is the sports economy.
The CEO of Sport Oregon points to the construction of the new Hillsboro Hop Stadium and training facilities for the Timbers, Thorns, and Portland Fire as being a huge driver for construction jobs in the metro. He also calls renovations to the aging Moda Center critical since it's set to host the 2030 NCAA Women's Final Four.
Well, thousands of fans are traveling from all over the country as March Madness tips off right here in the Rose City in just a few hours, which means you only have a few hours left to fill out that bracket.
Yeah, and if you are aiming for a perfect bracket this year, the odds are not exactly in your favor. Turns out there are 200 times more likely to win the lottery than to get a perfect bracket. Jen Sullivan breaks down betting on March Madness.
On Sunday, the best men's NCAA basketball team celebrated as they got invited to the big dance. But in the end, only one team will conquer the madness.
People are super excited about March Madness.
Lori Kalani with online betting site DraftKings says they see a surge in users this time of year for the tournament known as March Madness.
Every year there's always a lot of surprises. That's what keeps it so exciting.
The NCAA says as many as 100 million brackets are filled out every year. But as far as it knows, no one has ever filled out a perfect bracket. That's because the odds of picking all 63 games correctly is 1 in, yeah, that's a lot of numbers. 9.2 quintillion. But if you know a little about basketball, your odds are slightly better. 1 in 120.2 billion, according to the NCAA.
It's always fun to have skin in the game.
Beyond the bracket, people can also bet on individual games and player stats. The American Gaming Association estimates Americans will legally wager $3.3 billion on the NCAA women's and men's tournaments this year, an increase from previous years. Many legal betting sites offer deposit and loss limits. You can even set time limits on how long you're on their app. And while the odds may be different for each game, the chances are high it will be another exciting March. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well,
Yep.
How many brackets you fill out this year?
I've actually never filled out one in my life.
Ever?
No.
How about your hubby? Do you know?
He doesn't watch basketball at all.
He doesn't watch. Okay.
No.
Football guy. All right.
Football guy, but no brackets.
Okay. Here's what I got from the story.
Yeah, what'd you get?
I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. My odds seem better than ever,
Yeah.
right?
It always feels like the people that don't know anything about the college basketball season, they always win the pools.
You do it by colors.
So, yeah, or like the favorite mascot.
And part of the story said your odds are better if you know something about
Yeah,
basketball.
but I
I
was
shook
like-
my head for the exact same reason.
Same here, yeah.
My experience says, who won? What? The same person that said, is the ball round? That person won? All right, here's our Salem sky camera. It's just so pretty. Look at the cherry blossoms really going now in front of the Capitol. 55 degrees, good grief. And starting off with some sunshine for you folks. We have clouds here in Portland. The moisture fetch, which has been meandering slightly north, slightly south, been doing that all week. It's back down to the south a little bit. That means we could get some sprinkles in Portland or Vancouver. We are picking up some rain this morning in Astoria. You've had some rain clipping parts of northern Clark County and up around Kelso, Longview. And it's pretty solid, although fairly gentle rain rates, but pretty solid nonetheless from Longview up into Seattle if you're driving that way this morning. Here's what Futurecast shows at noon today. The bullseye will be the north coast in terms of your best chance to find some rain and occasionally some rain clipping areas around Kelso, Longview. Again, Portland may or may not get some sprinkles, thinning clouds to the south. Here's tonight, though, starting to get better rain chances with a shot of rain moving through the area. That was 11 p.m. tonight. Here's tomorrow morning. Might be some more rain than what this is indicating, but here's the front coming through tomorrow afternoon. Some rain, not a lot, and then all of that's on track to be out of here by sunup Saturday morning. So here's Saturday morning early, the cloudiness, the thick stuff starting to push away, and if this is correct, we'll quickly be developing some sunshine. So Astoria, maybe a quarter of an inch of rain today or 3/10. The rest of this 1.12 is what you'll get later tonight and on Friday. But from Portland southward, 1/10 of an inch on average, not much. At one point, it looked like tomorrow would be fairly rainy. That's the way it looked on the charts back on Monday, but now it just looks like a little bit of rain coming through. This is pretty. You can see the rising sun just on the south flank of Mount Hood there. Salem Tasting Room in Sherwood, 51 degrees, really pretty shot. Here's our camera out over the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club from the Explore Tualatin Valley, folks. And you can see clouds over the golf course there, but dry weather. Temperature is not an issue. Boy, 54 in Portland. It is 25 in Burns this morning, where you'll be back up into the 70s, though. So that's a tremendous bounce in temperature. Astoria, 54 with rain at times. That's your wet bullseye. Southwest Washington, Kelso, Longview, some rain, absolutely. Clark County, maybe a sprinkle. 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, spring begins in the morning, of course, so today's the finale of winter. We've got the dry weekend, 57 Saturday, 59 Sunday, and then the next rain comes in on Tuesday and on Wednesday. All right, it is traffic time with Chris McGinnis.
And good news for you as I look to find something to give you an excuse to be late for work this morning. I haven't found any, so we are off to a pretty quiet start out there on the freeways. Wait for it. There we go. I-5 out of Clark County running busy once you get south of the Interstate Bridge, but not on the Vancouver side of things. Your trip on the Sunset right now, about 17 minutes or so. Highway 26, that's from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. There we go. This is where I wanted to start again. Usually this time of the morning, we're pretty much stop and go from here back to SR 500. Not the case this morning. Right now, you're getting in from Main Street in about a dozen minutes. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Long lines at TSA causing people to miss their flights. Coming up, a look at your options if you find yourself stuck at security. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
In your national headlines, President Trump's pick to lead the Department of Homeland Security faced tough questions during his confirmation hearing. Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin was pressed by lawmakers, including some Republicans, over past comments appearing to support violence. Mullin defended his position and called for full funding of the department. If confirmed, he would replace Kristi Noem, who was fired earlier this month. Republicans hold a majority of the Senate, and Mullin is expected to have enough support to be confirmed.
A Senate showdown over U.S. military action in Iran ended with lawmakers rejecting an effort to limit the president's power. The Senate voted down a war powers resolution that would have required congressional approval to continue military action. The measure failed 53-47. Support was split mostly along party lines, with one Democrat voting against the bill and one Republican voting for it. The vote highlights ongoing divisions in Washington over war powers and the war in Iran.
Meanwhile, the ongoing partial government shutdown continues to impact the nation's airports as many flock to the terminal for spring break.
And with hours-long waits at TSA, many travelers are wondering what their options are if they miss their flight. Turns out not many. Karen Kafa explains.
Spring break volume collides with a congressional impasse, with airline passengers stalled in the middle.
Even if you're going to an airport that hasn't had issues with these staffing shortages, you just don't know when it can happen.
TSA officers have worked without pay since February 14th, when Department of Homeland Security funding lapsed amid a stalemate over federal immigration reform. TSA officials say callouts and resignations are mounting.
Our TSA officers, as long as they don't get paid, they're going to continue to call out. They can't afford to come in. And they're going to quit altogether. And that's a serious concern.
The Department of Transportation says passengers are entitled to refunds only for a canceled flight, a schedule change, or a significant delay, or on a fully refundable ticket that isn't used, not a TSA backup. But Meghna Maharishi, airline reporter at travel news site Skift, recommends travelers stay in close touch with their airline. Some are offering more rebooking flexibility.
That is a circumstance that is also outside of your control, and it is outside of the airline's control too.
Off-peak travel may also ease wait times.
I definitely say either early morning or very late at night. Those are probably going to be the two best times, just because there probably won't be as many flights taking off, and there probably won't be as many passengers on those flights. So you probably won't be dealing with very long security lines.
Passengers can also consider TSA pre-check for future travel. Maharishi says some travel credit cards will reimburse consumers for the cost. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The FBI is reportedly investigating former Trump official and Oregon native Joe Kent, who resigned over the war in Iran. That's our top story coming up at 7:30. And construction for the biggest detox center in Salem is now underway. How it will boost treatment not only for the people there, but the entire state.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We're coming up on 7:29 on your Thursday morning commute. There's a live look at some of the freeway drives across the metro area. We'll zoom into Tualatin. The drive on northbound I-5 just now starting to tighten up a little bit right at the 205 interchange, but not bad. Drive times reflect that. 21 minutes right now to get you in from Wilsonville, 20 minutes in from Hillsborough. So far, Rod, mostly so good on the roads.
And a nice morning out there. Temperatures are generally holding at about 50. We do have a pretty good shot of rain coming through. It's mainly steady from about Kelso Longview, increasingly so up to Seattle. Astoria, Tillamook have all had some rain. And this is a pattern that could produce some sprinkles in Portland. It's partly cloudy out in the gorge. This is Elk Ridge Golf Course out in Carson. Really pretty morning out there. Light winds. Portland's at 54. Again, we're looking for some sprinkles today, potentially. Otherwise, all dry. And warm still, 60 at noon, 66 the high. First day of spring is tomorrow. We'll get some passing rain, but not a ton of total moisture. Your weekend for spring still looks to be all dry.
Well, Rod, you mentioned today is the last day of winter and tomorrow, of course, the first day of spring. So to celebrate, Dairy Queen is giving out free ice cream cones today.
Hot diggity cone.
Feels like it should be tomorrow, right?
Maybe.
I'll take free ice cream whenever I can get it. No strings attached. Just show up to your local DQ, grab yourself a cone.
This is today.
Of course, there is a limit of one per person. You can also get your cone dipped for just $1. And if you download the Dairy Queen app, you can enter into a sweepstakes to win a free cone every day for a year. I might spring for the extra $1 to get it dipped.
I love those cones.
Do you dip them in the chocolate?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get that little crunch when you bite into it.
And a cotton candy. They have a cotton candy flavor.
Oh, no. You
Okay.
lost me there.
Okay.
Yeah, you lost me there.
All right, guys. Thanks for the support.
You know me, I'll do the swirl every now and then. You know, they have the chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. That is me stepping out, to your point, Chris. Yeah. Here's a look at what has really become an increasingly solid rain. Astoria, near Kelso Longview, and then certainly north up into Seattle. And then here we are, clearly just on the southern edge of dryness, if you will. But the overall rain pattern has pushed a little bit more to the south today. So Portland, I'm thinking we could have a little shot of a sprinkle at some point, but otherwise we'll be dry and no rain chance of any kind in Salem. In fact, you're waking up to sunny skies. You probably stay partly to mostly sunny throughout. Those are the cherry blossoms. So pretty. 55 is the number there. Downtown Portland, a little bit of thinness in the cloud cover, if you will. 54 is the number. Yeah, crazy warm. 60 at noon. Again, maybe a sprinkle, maybe not. About 66 at 5 p.m. This is the final day of winter. What's wrong with that? The temperatures seem out of whack, don't they, Chris?
I mean, yeah, just a bit. I mean, 71 yesterday. That was awesome. All right, let's get you out the door. So far, your drive's actually pretty awesome. As much as a drive can be awesome. I mean, we're not overly delayed anywhere. It's just, yeah, there's I-5 through the 205 interchange. Your northbound commute into Tualatin running a little thick as we are over in the Banfield, westbound I-84 right here. Coming in from Hollywood, that's where the brake tapping begins. Your drive right now on the 84 commute taking you about 24 minutes or so from Troutdale to downtown. And last but not least, this is a lot busier now than it has been all morning actually at the Interstate Bridge. So maybe folks are just now getting a little bit of a late start out of Clark County. 15 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Guys, back to you.
Chris, thank you. We knew this morning 8 state attorneys general are suing to stop Nexstar's $6.2 billion acquisition of Tegna, the company that owns KGW.
And the suit led by California and joined by Oregon, New York, Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, North Carolina, and Virginia was filed in federal court in Sacramento late Wednesday under antitrust law. It urges the Justice Department and FCC to block the merger. California Attorney General Rob Bonta argues that the deal is illegal and would mean higher pay, TV prices, job losses, and less competition in local news, while Nexstar and Tegna say combining the companies would expand local coverage, strengthen their digital offerings, and create more advertising opportunities. President Trump has publicly backed the merger, and FCC Chairman Brendan Carr has also signaled support, even though the combined company would need a waiver or change to the current rules that cap any broadcaster's reach at 39% of the U.S. TV homes. Now, Nexstar owns or partners with more than 200 stations in 116 markets, including Corning here in Portland, and also operates the CW and News Nation, while Tegna owns 64 stations across 51 markets. 4 of the attorneys general plan to hold a virtual news conference on the lawsuit about now.
And new developments after former Trump administration official Joe Kent resigned from his post. criticizing the war in Iran. Now, the Northwest native is reportedly being investigated by the FBI. Now, according to the Associated Press, the FBI is investigating whether Kent improperly shared classified information.
An AP source says the investigation precedes Kent's resignation Tuesday. Additional details are not available right now, but Kent stepped down from his post, saying he didn't agree with President Trump's decision to go to war in Iran and that, quote, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. We have a new reaction this morning from Vice President J.D. Vance.
I know Joe Kent a little bit. I like Joe Kent. You heard the President of the United States say yesterday that he likes Joe Kent too. But it's one thing to have a disagreement of opinion. I know the president very well. He welcomes differences of opinion.
Kent previously ran for Congress twice in Southwest Washington, losing both times to Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez.
Meanwhile, as Iran and Israel continue to trade fire, President Trump's Director of National Intelligence and CIA Director testified about the decision to go to war before a Senate committee. Tulsi Gabbard testifying that the Iranian regime, quote, appears to be intact but largely degraded. Now, when it came to the question of why the U.S. attacked Iran, this was part of the exchange with a Georgia senator.
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the president
Here's the problem.
based on a volume
no,
of
it is
information
precisely
that he receives.
It is precisely your responsibility to determine what constitutes a threat to the United States.
The senators also drilled down on intelligence officials' assessment that Iran has not made significant efforts to rebuild its nuclear capabilities after the U.S.-Israeli strikes last summer.
That Iran maintained the intention to rebuild.
3 weeks into the war, the Pentagon says it has struck nearly 8,000 regime targets. Meanwhile, oil prices rose again by as much as 3%. With global benchmark Brent crude around $110 per barrel.
And construction is well underway to open the biggest detox center in Salem.
The new center will hold 34 beds along with a sobering center. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us this morning with more details on the center. Good morning, Thomas.
Hey, good morning, guys. And yeah, this is a huge expansion for Salem for people looking to detox from drugs or alcohol, or just looking for a place to sober up. Now, right now, construction is ongoing, and this won't just be open to Salem residents. Dr. Carlos Obed Texidor Maldonado, the CEO of Bridgeway Community Health, says people from across the state can come there, and it'll be a big boost, he says, for all of Oregon. Bridgeway staff say the state has fallen behind in available services in recent years. Here's how it'll work. Once someone arrives for detox treatment, Obed Texidor Maldonado says they're screened by a provider to determine if they need medical supervision for withdrawal. Once they complete detox, people can be connected to additional treatment to help wean off of drugs or alcohol. Obed Texidor Maldonado says this facility will be a game changer to ensure people who want help can get it.
You know, there's nothing worse when an individual's ready to make those changes and there's nowhere to go and nobody to provide the care.
The building has been in the works for years, and it's fitted with separate wings for sobering and detox treatment, along with a state-of-the-art kitchen, living space, and personal rooms. And it's huge, more than 22,000 square feet. It's being funded through Measure 110 and a state House bill. Once again, construction is ongoing. Those staff hope the facility will be open by May. Matthew, China.
Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thomas, thank you. Meanwhile, a big step forward for a long-awaited project in North Portland. The city has revealed the final design for a new aquatic center that's meant to serve tens of thousands of people in the community.
Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us with what's planned and when construction could begin. Good morning, Corey.
Matthew, China, the North Portland Aquatic Center has been in the works since the winter of 2022, and city leaders say they're now moving forward with the final design of that project. And the plans feature a year-round indoor facility at Northgate Park with 2 pools, and that includes one for recreation and the other for competition. Now, it'll also have a slide, lazy river, and hot tub spa. The project is expected to serve 70,000 people across North Portland. Now, I spoke with Water Strong, a Portland-based nonprofit founded in 2016 with a mission to end drowning. They say in addition to limited pool access for lessons in the colder months, there's also a shortage of local lifeguards and instructors on top of what they call a persistent equity gap.
We're seeing almost a 7 times difference
in drowning rates between upper and middle income white families and lower income families of color. Now there's a plan to bring access back and to open the pools. Very exciting about this.
Now, groundbreaking is expected in the fall of 2027. The project as a whole expected to take 2 years to complete as far as construction is concerned. And then city leaders, they're also in the process or beginning the process right now for the public art pro selection process, and that's through the state's 2% for Art program, choosing artists that will help to design this space once it's complete. Back to you.
Corey Johnson reporting live this morning. Thank you, Corey. All right, your time now is 7:39. Headed over to Rod Hill. Are we going to see sun this week or the next 4 days at all? A little bit, maybe.
Being a bit greedy,
but we can't get everything all at once, Rod.
You know,
into it.
If you're south of Salem, or excuse me, south of Portland, you had quite a bit of sun all day yesterday. The rest of us, it was kind of cloudy, then kind of filtered sun, kind of back and forth. More overcast up into Clark County. I think from Portland northward today, there's maybe no sun, but temperatures will be warming up nicely, so that's good. 81 yesterday, record in Redmond. 77 yesterday, record in Eugene. Portland 71, not a record, but remember Monday was the warm day. I think it was what, 68 at PDX. Yesterday 71, becoming the first 70-degree day that we've had in 2026. So this overall warm pattern, even with cloud cover, continues today. Again, the clouds from Portland northward, you get thinning clouds as you drop down towards Salem. It's a wet morning. Astoria, Kelso, Longview, you've had a touch of rain, then it's pretty solid up into Seattle. That continues to be the case today. Here are the clouds of Snookwoods Casino Resort in Lincoln City. They look dark. So if you just look at that, you think, well, it could be some light rain even down along our central coast today, but the better chance rain will continue to be up around Astoria. Kind of a cool cap lenticular cloud holding over the Mount Hood summit from the Oregon Veteran Summit camera out in the Dalles, 47 degrees. And there's a look at some nice, pretty yellow-orange tones from the Vancouver Springs of the waterfront camera. So a little brightness if you look off to the east this morning. Here are the 50s, 55 in Happy Valley. Salem also sharing that 55-degree temperature. Hey, Marvin and Lucy are co-pets of the day on this Thursday, final day of winter. Pet of the day at KGW.com is the email address. So a lot of our inland areas today will be back up into the 70s. I've got Portland at 66. Again, maybe a sprinkle, maybe nothing. And then tomorrow, some passing rain, a cloudy day, 60. And then here comes China's sun, developing Saturday and a mostly sunny Sunday. Looks like we'll be dry Monday as well before rain returns next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's Chris.
You hear that, China? Rod did something for you. Woo. Just for you. All right, let's go ahead and get you out the door right now. We'll start off with the I-5 drive through North Portland. That's up near Columbia Boulevard. Slow and steady. The lineup actually starts back around the Expo Center. It's not moving bad across the Interstate Bridge, but I'll show you what it looks like up near SR 14. Really got to say that the volume here on our Thursday morning, I would expect it to be heavier than it is right now. But, as I say that, we go up a minute. 17 minutes get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Here's the drive through Tualatin. This continues to tighten up on I-5 northbound. Right now you're tripping from Wilsonville now, averaging about 24 minutes, and 23 minutes get you in from Hillsborough, from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. All right, just to the newsroom, a Senate committee has voted to approve President Trump's nominee to be the next Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. The vote now goes to the full Senate for consideration. Oklahoma Senator Barkway Mullen was pressed by lawmakers, including some Republicans, over past comments appearing to support violence. Mullen defended his position and called for full funding of the department. All right, it's the last day of winter, but in some parts of the West Coast, it feels like summer. The heat wave breaking records in multiple states after the break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
It's 7:45, and so even though today is the last day of winter, temperatures over in the western part of the United States have felt like summer, with some places even hitting triple digits today.
Those temperatures setting new records in many places and leaving millions under an extreme heat advisory. Reed Binion reports.
It was really hot. Today it's going to be the same.
It's hot. I'm melting right now as we speak, so it's only going to get hotter as the day goes on.
People in Southern California sweltering in triple-digit temperatures in some places amid a rare March heat wave.
The fan blows, but you have no air.
The heat also having a potential impact on agriculture in some parts of the Golden State.
It's warm, but it's not killing plants warm, right? No huge negatives right now. If this extends out a couple extra days, then all of a sudden you could be seeing problems.
The heat wave extending to other western states as well. Phoenix this week broke the record for its earliest triple-digit temperature day ever.
We should be seeing highs right around 80 degrees, but instead we're talking 20, 25 degrees above normal, getting into the 100s.
Wednesday was also the beginning of a days-long extreme heat warning for areas around Las Vegas. The National Weather Service cited dangerously hot temperatures that could reach near 30 degrees above normal for this time of year. The warning covers parts of northwest Arizona, southeast California, and southern Nevada and will remain in effect through Sunday evening. The Lake Mead National Recreation Area closed several trails due to safety concerns during the heat wave. Officials cited dangerous conditions with a high risk of heat-related illness. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Yeah, as someone who was born and raised in Las Vegas, it's actually depressing to go to the lake because it's so drastic of it just evaporating and going down and down and down and down. It's sad.
Oh, during the year, the fluctuation.
I mean, since I was a kid, I remember like a little ring, and then as of late, you saw in there, I mean, huge drop in water.
Interesting.
I remember Shasta getting into Northern California some years ago. It was when they were really in that bad drought, and Shasta, which you drive through on I-5 when you cross into California, basically had no water. Then when they had the big snowpack a couple years back, and now it's been
rebuilt
fine since. But boy, the fluctuation, to your point, amazing.
Yeah.
Here's a look at where those current temperatures stand. We've pretty much washed out the noticeably cold weather out across the east. Just kind of a cool morning, 36 in New York. Chicago's at 42 degrees right now. And then, of course, the big story is the heat out here in parts of the west. So we'll stop the clock at 4 p.m. our local West Coast time. There's Phoenix at 103, Vegas at 96. Reno at 83, Medford 78. We had a record high in Central Oregon of 80 degrees in Redmond yesterday. So we're kind of on the northern periphery of this warm weather pattern. It's been producing all of our 60s and at times all of our 70s this week. Here's a look, and we've had some records, as you know. Again, that was a record in Redmond yesterday. Here's a look at the moisture fetch. It's been just kind of gently meandering from clearly north of our region to just clipping us. And today we're back down to just clipping us. Pretty much steady rain from Kelso, Longview up to Seattle. And then Astoria is going to be the wet bullseye, and Long Beach of our local area. There's some rain showers offshore from Tillamook as well. Noon today, it shows there could be a light shower even down in the Newport, but the rain bullseye is the north coast up into Kelso, Longview. Here's 2 o'clock. You know, the last time we saw the meandering push southward of the flow pattern was on Tuesday. And Tuesday, if you remember, in Portland City Center to the north, and even I think down around Wilsonville, there were some traces of rain, like sprinkles. Well, we could see that again today. This shows that happening at 2 o'clock. But otherwise, we're dry. Here's a look at more significant rain push later this evening. Tomorrow morning, some rain in the area. And then here is the latest update Friday afternoon on that front coming through. And it just doesn't look like much. The cloud shield with that front could clear us by sunup Saturday morning as we say goodbye to this particular weather pattern. And we will be getting some cooling this weekend down across much of the west to our south as well. Cherry blossoms, fantastic. Oh my goodness, so pretty in front of our capital. 55 degrees in Salem. 50 in Kelso with some light rain in the area. Astoria raining and 50 degrees. It's 41 down in Eugene. You folks will be bouncing back up into the 70s easily today. Valley forecast, in fact, has Corvallis and Salem hitting 70 degrees. Then you get thicker cloud cover with the chance of some sprinkles in Clark County. And we've had some bona fide light showers already up around Longview. 60 degrees, your high temperature today. I've got Portland at 66. Some passing rain tomorrow, but still a lot of dry time mixed in. Tomorrow does not look that wet. Then we got Saturday and Sunday all dry, Monday all dry, rain returning on Tuesday and Wednesday. 7:46 tomorrow morning, Chris, the spring equinox.
And we will be dancing in the streets. Well, some of us will, celebrating the arrival of spring. All right, let's get you out the door. So far, this Thursday morning commute has been, I wonder if some people are already starting their spring break. There's not a lot of traffic out there. I mean, relative to what we would typically see. Yeah, the drive times are building a little bit, but we'll show you. We'll take you up to Clark County, the I-5 South commute, right here at the Interstate Bridge at SR 14. Traffic's still moving along okay. I mean, it can be a lot thicker than that right now. We're looking at about 17 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. This is the live look in Tualatin, northbound I-5 at 2:05. Again, that's busy but moving. You'll get in from Wilsonville in about 26 minutes, and the trip in from Troutdale on I-84 westbound, about 24 minutes. A solid 18 to that from Gateway I-205 to downtown. Guys?
Chris, thank you. Still to come on Sunrise, one of the most fascinating mysteries in human history is coming to Portland. A look at the new Titanic exhibition at OMSI when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
I'm David Mulco, the evening anchor at KGW. Though when I'm not working, I like to spend as much time as possible out here in nature. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. You see, what happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to talk about it, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Well, one of history's most famous shipwrecks is coming to Portland's OMSI, bringing pieces of the doomed ship and its story.
We're talking about the Titanic, which sank in 1912. Our John Goodwin got an early look.
From the moment you walk in, the Titanic isn't just history, it's personal. At OMSI, more than a century after the ship sank, its story is still being told, piece by piece, at a new exhibit opening March 21st.
What you see in this exhibition are fragments of the ship, and there is so much more to Titanic.
Thomasina Ray is the president of RMS Titanic Inc., the only company allowed to recover artifacts from the debris field, bringing up more than 5,500 items.
All of our expeditions come with scientific research or recovery efforts, and it's all about preservation of the ship.
But preservation is a race against time.
The iconic image of the ship that we always have seen on the ocean floor is changing.
The massive structure slowly deteriorating, documented through sonar images and video.
And it's eventually going to collapse on itself.
That's why this exhibit matters. Not just what was lost, but what can still be saved. Inside, fragments of the grand staircase, shoes, jewelry, and clothing, somehow preserved after decades underwater.
I think when people come here, they're going to be surprised about what survived.
And visitors don't just see the story, they step into it.
When you arrive, you get a boarding pass that will identify a passenger, and they'll give you the name, the age, the class, and maybe a little bit of information about them. So as you're going through the exhibit, you can kind of see what they would have experienced. Everything you see in this exhibit, even though it's broken and fractured, was new. It was practically new when it hit the bottom of the ocean.
As the ship slowly disappears, the stories remain. Titanic, the artifact exhibition, runs through October 18th.
Titanic just has endless fascination and just endless stories in it, and just any thread you pull is going to be something fascinating.
In Southeast Portland, John Goodwin, KGW News.
The KGW Great Food Drive is still going on, and we need your help to reach our goal of providing over 1 million meals to local people and families in need. So far, we've provided more than 650,000 meals, but there is still more work to be done. One way that you can give is by making a donation at any Rivermark Community Credit Union branch. You can also drop off food in person this weekend at the Timbers match. We will be at Providence Park collecting donations before kickoff there. And all week long, Pacific Foods will match all donations up to $5,000. And for all the ways that you can donate, head to kgw.com/food drive. We want to thank local Toyota dealers, Pacific Office Automation, Rivermark Community Credit Union, and Safeway for supporting this year's food drive.
Coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with our latest Rose Festival court announcement.
Meet the young ladies from Jefferson and Cleveland High School chosen as Rose Princesses, and look at how they're making their schools proud.